period. They arrive somewhere else in the world that doesn't suspect that a pandemic has started, and transmission could be going on for a while before it's detected, and this could be happening in multiple areas of the world.
Just the amount of people coming through LAX, how quickly can one person infect everybody else on that plane, and then all of us around them walk through the gates of LAX, and everybody who comes into contact with us is then exposed. Then I go home and my family and my daily life. Once that happens, we have no immunity. We have nothing.
The symptoms of H5 start off innocuously enough that an infected person might not have any idea of the danger.
The first symptoms of a pandemic virus would probably be similar to regular influenza: fever, cough, muscle aches.
You'd have maybe a runny nose, some teary eyes, a sore throat.
But the symptoms progress rapidly.
Your muscles hurt, your throat is sore, you start coughing, next thing you know you have trouble breathing.
There would be rapid progression, shortness of breath,
cardiac arrest, renal failure.
It's about 4 days from when symptoms develop to when you get in a hospital, and it's about 9 days to when you die.
But as dire as these predictions appear, avian flu may not even be our greatest danger. The most threatening plague may have more sinister origins.
The pale horse, I believe, represents death, but I believe it represents a specific kind of death, and I believe it represents the death that would come from biological warfare, either through an act of terrorism, through a security breach, through military conflict. A vial cracks, a truck crashes, it goes into the food supply. Numerous biologically designed plagues are released on planet Earth. There's no remedy for them. They spread like wildfire. Millions of people are going to die.
What if we had something that couldn't be contained? It would take 1, 2, 3 hosts to infect an entire population? Easily.
As an expert on weapons of mass destruction, John Barton understands the threat today's bioengineered viruses pose.
With the way bioengineering is adapting right now, I think that is our largest threat. Biological weapons systems are only limited by their delivery measure.
It's pretty easy to actually do a bioterrorist attack. Most of these are invisible, they're odorless, they're tasteless, and we don't even know how to respond to bioterrorism. We usually don't have antivirals or treatment ready to go because a lot of times we don't even know what it is. It takes a while until we figure out what it is that we're actually working with the agent.
Let's say you have a terrorist cell. You have an engineered virus. It just has to get airborne. A biological released into the air on another human being in a high-density populated area like Los Angeles and New York, you're going to infect everybody. I mean, you're going to achieve your end. With the amount of travel that Americans do, with the amount of border crossing that the Europeans do, we can easily perpetuate a strain globally within weeks.
For doctors, it will be like getting hit with the tsunami of the sick and dying. Around the world, hospitals will be ground zero.
We don't have the resources currently, or the facilities currently, to handle what might be the influx of sick patients into hospitals, ERs, communities.
Every ER is full. Every hospital bed is full. Every nurse is maxed to their limits. Every doctor, ER physician is maxed to their limits. If that's the case, how are you going to take 10 more patients, 20 more patients, 50 more patients? We're not. It's not going to happen. There's no way the system can withstand that.
Even worse, the virus could quickly split into several subtypes, each resistant to different drugs.
Viruses mutate a lot quicker than bacteria. It just takes that one virus to actually mutate and form that right combination that nobody would survive.
If a virus is mutating so much and is bouncing from host to host to host and creating different strains within each host, it becomes almost incompatible. So no matter how big our military is, no matter how much we try to contain, no matter how much we try to shut down our airports to keep this spread from happening, it is very unlikely that we could.
Apocalyptic extremes emerge. Quarantine, mass panic, and finally, the breakdown of society.
If the illness or mutation is severe enough, the number of casualty will be too much to handle. We wouldn't know where to put the bodies.
There would be bodies not being collected, power outages, medical services being overwhelmed.
When we're talking about the right mutation, the number of dead would be so great that we would have dead people on the streets.
You have mass death and no antibiotic to cure it because they were laboratory designed, genetically engineered plagues. And I think that's what the book of Revelation refers to. I don't think God is sending down sickness on planet Earth. I think it's more of a matter of He's saying, okay, you wanted to design diseases, I'll let you do that. But then you're going to have to deal with the consequences.
Biblical prophecy of a worldwide plague that would kill half the population is on a whole different scale again. And if it comes from heaven or if it's allowed by God, it's going to be horrible.
And both science and religion agree it may only be a matter of time.